Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Finance. Does he stand by his statement that, quotes, "We've done a lot of work to rebalance our economy towards exports, savings and investment in a bid to lift sustainable economic growth"? If so, what is the current level of household savings in New Zealand?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, I do stand by that statement, and I'll tell the member why. We're seeing a range of positive indicators in the economy, 66,000 more jobs in the last year, wages on average up 2.8%, well ahead of inflation, economic growth of 3.1% up and up 0.9% in the December 2013 quarter, an increase in manufacturing, a sector which added 14,300 jobs in 2013, and investment in plant and machinery, which Statistics New Zealand report is now at its highest ever level. And alongside that, the figures for exports reaching 50 billion were quoted by my colleague, Minister Joyce. Household savings rates, the most recent data show it at minus 0.7% of household income. This compares to an average of minus 4.5% in the 5 years from 2003 to 2008, when all that member's theories were tried out.
Order. Supplementary question. Order. Order. Supplementary question. Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. If you just excuse me, I've just turned the page here. Does he agree with the Prime Minister that, quotes, "A lower exchange rate will enable us to promote economic growth faster," and, quotes, "The most likely way to achieve a more realistic exchange rate is one where we see an example of good monetary policy where interest rates are lower, and that is why taking pressure off that is important," close quotes.
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, yes, I do agree with the Prime Minister, and we are on track to have significantly lower interest rates through this cycle than the... Well, the member talks as if interest rates are today a huge problem. In fact, they're just above the lowest interest rates we've had since Keith Holyoake started out being Prime Minister back in the 1960s. That's how low they've been, and we will certainly avoid reaching almost 11% first mortgage rates, which is the level that they reached under the previous Labor government, which tried out all the theories that this member is now proposing to try out again. And doing the same thing over and over again with the same results, particularly when they're negative, is a form of insanity.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Honourable David Parker.
Oh, actually, first of all, Mr Speaker, speaking of Mr Muldoon, I seek leave.
Is this a point of order?
It is. I seek leave to table a press release at the time showing that actually Mr Muldoon killed universal savings, didn't introduce them.
The member is now trifling with the points of order. I'll ask him to deliver his supplementary
to the Minister. Does he accept that Treasury's forecast for the current account deficit to head north of 5% within 2 years on his current economic settings show that he has not successfully rebalanced the economy towards exports, savings and investment?
Honourable Bill English.
Mr Speaker, no, and I'll tell the member why. For each of the last 3 years, Treasury have forecast that the current account deficit will go back to about 6%. Today, it's just over 3%. So they have been consistently wrong in their forecasts. I know the member would prefer them to be right, but they've been wrong. They forecast the current account deficit to be 6% today. In fact, it's closer to 3%, and some economists say it'll go under 3% to 2.5%. And that'll be very disappointing to the Labor Party, particularly when they left it with an average of minus 8% for the last 3 years they were in government. They tried all the members' theories as recently as 2005 to 2008. They didn't work then, and we will certainly avoid trying to implement them now.
Supplementary question, Tim McIndoe.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. What reports has the Minister received on proposals that would do very little, if anything, to rebalance the economy towards exports, savings and investment?
Order insofar as there is ministerial responsibility. Honourable Bill English.
I've received reports about a proposal that concerns me as a Minister of Finance because it would force hard-working Kiwis struggling to pay their mortgage to give up 15% of their take-home pay to put it into KiwiSaver. I can report, though, that the proposal is confusing. Asked about how much the compulsory KiwiSaver rate would have to rise for the proposal to have any impact on interest rates, one senior source told Radio New Zealand this morning, "I'm not in a position to give you a particular number on that point." Asked again, he then said, "I don't have that number on me," as if he'd left it back in the locker somewhere. And then he added, "Unusually and exceptionally, I'm not going to make up a number."
Order, order.
But that was David.
That answers. Supplementary question. Order, Honourable David Parker.
Does he agree with the 2007 version of Bill English that rural communities like Southland are, quotes, paying the price of a high exchange rate, or himself in 2012 that, quotes, the exchange rate is a headwind for exporters, the 2013 version of Bill English that the exchange rate is still too high, or the current version of Bill English who now says that a lower exchange rate would be toxic?
Speaker.
Honourable Bill English.
All of them, because I'm pleased to tell the member I've improved with age.
Question number 11, Te Uraroa Flavel.
Tēnā koe, Mr Speaker. Kia ora tātou. Ko taku pātai he pātai